In one particularly tense exchange, Senator Claire McCaskill, DMO, sharply interrupted the sole witness testifying before the Senate Committee on Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs, Margaret Weichert, a high-ranking deputy at the Office of Management and Budget, after having grown exasperated by what she saw as Weichert's evasive answers. President Trump first proposed reorganizing the federal government less than 2 months after taking office. In an executive order signed on March 13, 2017, Trump directed OMB to propose a plan to reorganize governmental functions and eliminate unnecessary agencies. Wednesday offered the Trump administration a chance to tout its progress to legislators. And though Committee Chairman Ron Johnson, R. Wisconsin, opened the hearing gamely, asking members of the audience if they thought the federal government was hopelessly unwieldy, most agreed it was. The mood darkened with McCaskill's intense criticism of a process she described as opaque and impervious to the necessary scrutiny of Congress. "I cringe when I hear how inefficient it is for Americans to interact with their government due to layers of organization bureaucracy. This is not how Americans want their government to operate," Weichert said. At one point, she described her task by borrowing an acronym used by Senator James Lankford, R. Oklahoma, BHAG, which stands for Big Hairy Audacious Goal. But she could not erase Democrats' memories of one-time White House political strategist Stephen K. Bannon promising a deconstruction of the administrative state, or of Trump's well-known animosity to a bureaucracy he believes is rife with deep state enemies of his administration. During the presidential campaign, Trump suggested he might entirely eliminate the Environmental Protection Agency and the Department of Education. And many agencies are so severely understaffed that the White House recently resorted to a job fair to attract federal employees. It was thus understandable that suspicions ran high on Wednesday. "I'm worried about a sledgehammer coming in," said Doug Jones. Diala Maggie Hassan, DNH, echoed the worries of liberals who believe that a consolidation of the labor and education departments would be nothing more than a means to vitiate both. "This administration has a track record of chipping away at workers' protections," Hassan said. "Students and workers will presumably be left with no champion if the two departments are combined and allegedly redundant programs are eliminated," Hassan added. Greg Scott, a Heritage Foundation spokesman, told NewsPulse News that the think tank is pleased that lawmakers from both sides of the aisle recognize the Heritage Foundation for our effective work advocating for sound conservative ideas in numerous policy areas. An administration official disputed the characterization of the OMB plan as a heritage brainchild. "The claim that this is a heritage plan is a disservice to our dedicated career civil servants," he said, who spent a year combing through Public Government Accountability Office and Inspector General reports, as well as citizen submissions, in order to craft a proposal that would help make the federal government more efficient, effective, and accountable. Trump is certainly not the first president to attempt a taming of the bureaucratic beast. Back in 1993, President Bill Clinton promised a federal government that puts a premium on speed and function and service, not rules and regulations. 19 years later, Obama vowed to make our government leaner, smarter, and more consumer-friendly. If those efforts had been successful, there would be little left for Trump to reorganize. Just how much Trump can accomplish is unclear. Weichert asserted that there were some dozen proposals that the administration intended to act on unilaterally. She did not say what those proposals were, or when they would be implemented. Norman J. Ornstein, a congressional expert at the Libertarian American Enterprise Institute, told NewsPulse News that most of what they are trying to do, moving major programs, altering and renaming departments, can't be done without Congress. And there is no way Congress will agree, including, for example, Republicans on the agricultural committees, but also all Democrats in the Senate. That could leave this reorganization as imperiled as its predecessors. As the mood in the hearing room soured, Johnson, the Wisconsin Republican, bemoaned the partisan rancor that he viewed as having been instigated by McCaskill. He also defended Weichert, arguing that the reorganization plan was still in its early stages. McCaskill was not mollified and wondered what the purpose of a congressional hearing was if not to ask difficult questions. For all the discord, nobody present at Wednesday's hearing dared describe the federal government as a model of efficiency. Something needs to be done, but as is frequently the case in Washington, there is little agreement on what that should be or who should pay for it. We have multiple government agencies that oversee catfish, said Senator Gary Peters, D. Michigan. I don't think we need that. I want them to have one agency to make sure catfish is safe when I eat it. In this age of incessant rancor, catfish safety may be the best Congress can do.